All right, I'll go ahead and get started here. Good afternoon, good morning to everybody that's attending, and for everybody else that will be watching this recording later on. My name is Javis Olson. I'm with Detego Global. Today I'm going to go over some best practice and procedures, kind of from focusing specifically about, like the title says, from data to discovery. So basically, I'm kind of want to focus this around the mass amounts of data that we collect and you collect as investigators, and how to navigate all of that, the mass amounts of data, with kind of best practice and procedures with using our software, and how that helps to fast track everything, with some live demonstrations of that and kind of my workflows that I like to use, which can also be modified to fit anybody else's needs. So to get started here, I'm going to talk a little bit about us so that way everybody knows exactly who we are. We are Detego Global. We're located throughout the globe. We have multiple different brick and mortar offices throughout the globe. Our headquarters is in London, with a few different locations here in the US. I am in North Carolina, where I'm residing. We've been in business for over 20 years. These are some of the names of some of our current customers. This is just a few of them. Some of the bigger name ones, as you see, they range from law enforcement, military, private sector, public sector, agency-wise, ICAC forces. So pretty much the distinction isn't narrowed down to one type of individual or job set that uses our tool. It fits the vast variety of most people out there and investigators. Some of our customers have been using our tools for a while. This is some of their quotes with some of the different case studies that we've had, and they've used against it to help ease and fast track their triaging, kind of what we're going to be talking about today. And all that's done inside of our software with Analyse AI Plus. So Analyze is software. AI Plus is what helps and fast tracks your investigations. The main purpose of this is basically, like I said, take all that mass amount of data. Instead of taking days and days or weeks, however long it takes you to sift through everything, using the automation, those AI tools, to triage and go through all of it for you, and trusting those practices and procedures. And also, yeah, you can fact check and go back and do your file browsing the typical way when it comes to your evidence, narrowing down to basically what came from what. Did it pull everything? Did it actually go in and did the automation yield the right results? And yeah, you can go back in and check that. Trusting these practices and procedures and these AI is kind of the way forward and where we are. Different things that are built into the AI. Number one is gathering the evidence. So the first thing I'm showing you is the ballistic imager, basically just a really quick one. All right, I need to get an image of this device really quick, let's bring it back, rebuild it as an EL1, and then run these AI processes. Some of those AI processes that are built in to help your investigations and your triaging, some like your semantic searching. So if I just run my visual indexer against the job, against an extraction, I can then just type in what I'm looking for to help yield some results. And this is just explaining some of those right here. Also, with those results, you can, just to save a lot of time, once again, mass amount of data, short amount of time to triage, you can just search for similar based off of those results that you're finding using the visual index there, and I'll be able to show you that. Also, as I'm going through this, once I get to the presentation, you guys will see the chat bar over there. So if you have questions, go ahead and throw them up in there, and I'll be able to answer those towards the end. We'll do a Q&A at the end, so you can just throw your questions in there. Don't think I'm ignoring you. You can just I'll answer those at the end. All right, this is just showing some other AI built in, and I'll be able to show you this visual indexer, audio transcribe and translate, taking an audio or video file, translating it from its native language to English, and giving a subscript on the audio or video file, and then a printable PDF of what was translated by the second of where it was translated. Used a lot in investigations when you're investigating a subject, suspect, or a witness. Instead of just listening to that audio file, ingest it into Analyze, run that one analytic against it, and then you can just type in, did they ever talk about a man or a woman or whatever that is? And if it does pop up, then that's right there in that file. And this is our AI Plus that I was telling you about. Analyze is the workhorse of pretty much everything when it comes to our software, our full forensic suite. It can handle phones, drones, computers, very strong computers, pretty much anything that holds data, being able to do the extraction, the analyzing and triaging and reporting all in one tool is very, very effective, and it's very easy. It's user friendly. This is showing some of the other AI that are built in or analytics. You have OCR, translation features, hash matching, hash searching, keyword searching capability. One of my favorites is the video and picture analytics. So basically, what is it seeing in the images? I need to look for just pictures of, I'm looking for a man. So then if I just run this one job queue, it'll go out there and categorize everything I see in the images. Is it a car? Is it a person? Is it a man? Is it a woman? Is it a weapon? And then go into that filter, narrowing it down by exactly what I'm looking for instead of having to search through all the different scroll bars of all the images is very, very time effective. And this is everything when it comes to our full suite that we like to call our full digital forensic capability, our unified platform. Our ballistic imager that I told you about that I'll show you here holds a record for, as you see there, imaging terabyte in up to in under 8 minutes. I'll be able to show you that real time with mine. It's kicking about 2 gigs a second, right around there. And then on that same device, you build a field device basically that houses the ballistic imager and the field triage. So field triage is your capability to get real-time results when it comes to, I'm after direct artifacts or keywords or hashes or whatever that is. Once again, mass amount of data, finding it in a very short amount of time, and getting those key indicators that tell me time now that I do have these results that I'm looking for. Media acquisition is using the Analyze software itself to plug in loose media devices to do your imaging, your logical extraction, whatever that is, to get that extraction done, and then start running those analytics against it. And then MD is our phone solution. So GMD Soft, or MD, that's our South Korea partner that houses all of our phone forensic capabilities. So we have MD Live and MD Next as well. MD Live is going to be your on-scene capability for unlocked devices for direct artifact extraction. Basically, as an example, I have a phone, I have a suspect, I have access to the device. I need to go after a chat in WhatsApp from one person during this amount of time, during this time frame. You can drill it down to be that specific. Or if you just want to really quickly gather all my chat threads from my different messaging apps, you can do that. And then after it grabs it, you can basically unplug the device, hand that back to that suspect in a matter of minutes instead of waiting for that extraction to finish and then give it back to him. MD Next is the more lab suite. So houses thousands of different phone profiles, very, very strong in Samsung devices for different phone makes and models, unlocking them, brute forcing, and I'll be able to show you really quickly what that looks like as well. So once again, we call ourselves the Swiss Army knife, an all-in-one tool built into one solution. And I'll show you guys what we're looking like here now. So I'm going to switch now. Go straight into our software. A second here. All right, so this is the start of our software. This is the home page here. On the left-hand side, you're going to see the Acquire Connected Media. I'm going to walk you through it really quick, and then I'll show you live demonstrations. In here, this is where you plug in loose media devices. As you see in here, mobile and tablet, self-explanatory. That's where you do your phone and tablet extractions. It'll open up into MD Live and MD Next that I'll show you. And then we do have a remote imaging capability with our network agent that just issues an agent to those host devices on the same network, and you can do your remote imaging that way. Detego field device right here, that's basically taking a device such as this field device. So taking a SSD, making it field device, and this is going to write software to it to be able to take this on scene to do rapid and fast imaging of a suspect's device, as well as the field triaging that I mentioned before. Once you build the device, it's going to look like this. It says, I've issued out a license. This is it. And after it pops up, this is what it's going to look like. So this is everything that's written to it. These other blue icons here, those are what we call field profiles. So I've created these to do customized extractions on devices when I'm out of the office. Let's say I just want to go after email. I've set my field device to go do just that. Or if I want to just run the do my carving and hashing keyword results, I can do that as well. So once again, very customizable, saving your time as far as weeding out all the different the backlogs of evidence that come there, all the everything that's not relevant to what you're looking for, and going directly after what you need. So I have it plugged in. What you don't see is everything else I have plugged in. They're called collectors. You see them over here. What those are basically just a series of other solid state drives or thumb drives that are plugged in to where once I get my imager started, which you'll see here in just a second, it's going to split that image out to anything that has this index file that you see right here. This index file is what is on all of these other collectors. So I have one field device and I actually have 5 other collectors all plugged into this target machine right here. So once this image starts, it's going to recognize anything that has that index file. It's going to split it out to everything on there, speeding up your extraction time, your imaging time, reducing your time on scene. My background, I come from the military and special operations. Use this real time, ran a lab by myself as well. So one thing I liked about it is the backlog of evidence that we get in those labs. And sometimes it takes weeks to get through a lot of those. This drastically reduced my time as it took to get through everything. And it's just a few clicks away. This is my physical image, my ballistic image. You can extract RAM as well. You can do specific allocation of that drive, compression and checksum if you choose to. Then you just select run. Right beside that was run and covert. If you're ever on scene and you're working around a suspect or an individual, you don't want any screen presence. You don't want to tip them off to what you're doing. It's just going to be off in the background imaging, and there's not going to be anything on the screen. So once this kit's kicked up, starting from the extraction of data, this is where we're starting here. So I'm going to extract it. After this, I'm going to bring it back in to analyze to show you those job queues and analytics that I can select and custom create one. Say I have an image. Now this is exactly what I want to go after. I just select run, and it's going to be off and going. I just come back and view my results after it's done. See if there's any. All right, great to see everybody joining now. All right, so now you'll see the imaging has started here. This one at the crown, that is my field device, it's my master device. All of these other ones are all their collectors with just that index file. And I'm rapidly imaging right now, 2.1 gigs a second. So this is about 97 gigs it's targeting right now. Like I mentioned, our record is a terabyte in under 8 minutes. I need to go on scene really quickly, image this computer. Windows, Linux, and Mac, you can target, you can boot into it as well if it's password protected. And the screen and makeup is going to look exactly the same. So I let this process. I do collect all my audit logs here as well. And then I can throw in some field notes, some examiner notes, and take screenshots of the process if I need to. At any time, if one of these collectors fills up, I can just unplug, have another one on hand that's empty, plug it in, and that imaging will continue to process as well until it's fully done. And there we go. That one's already done. If I go to my logs, it's going to show me right here in about 57 seconds, I almost got 97 gigs. So once again, gathering data really fast. Now you have a mass amount. All right, so reducing your time on scene, reducing your time on target, whatever you like to call it. And the second part to this, back in Analyze here, it's basically you have a full image. I need to import it back into my Analyze to start my triaging and rebuilding process. So I have my field device and all of my other collectors. I need to rebuild those back to one as an EO1. So that's what this process is going to do right now. And before I get that started, another thing of note is that if one of these collectors is lost, so you had one field device and 6 collectors, but you came back with 5 collectors, you don't know where the other one went, you can still rebuild that image with that missing collector. Obviously, you're not going to know what is missing out of that image, but you're going to be able to still rebuild that at that time. So it's not going to be a problem at all. Plug this back in. Another thing of note as well is as that's recognizing, it's going to recognize that image just processed and field extractions here. All these collectors have that same folder, and everything that you're going to see in here, even if you see reports, finish and keywords is right there. If I go back to my other drive, my photographs, everything's encrypted. So you're not going to be able to actually, if you lose anything in transit, you're not going to be able to, nobody's going to be able to see exactly what you had in there.
Hey, Javis, this is Megan from Cyber Social Hub. All we're seeing on the screen is just like a little bit of white space. So I don't know if maybe something's not rendering in the share.
Let me try switching here. What about, can you see this here?
We can see the screen, but there's like a big white space under the remotely issued device. There were just some comments. We're not sure if that's...
Oh, yeah, like right here where my cursor is?
Yeah. Is that supposed to be white space?
Yep, if this is all open right here. Yep, sorry
Okay,
to
cool.
confuse anybody.
No worries. There were people just asking about it in the chat, so just wanted to get clarification. So thanks for that, Javis.
Oh, yeah, not a problem, not a problem. Yeah, no, that's a good question. You know, trying to get used to familiar with the software right here. Let me go into my settings really quick. All right, good there. All right, so we're going to let that ingest, and then basically what that looks like after you rebuild it is go into your cases. You rebuild it as an EO1. Once again, it's two-step process. So you rebuild it as an EO1. By default, it's going to be a raw DD format. And when it's done, this is what it's going to look like. All right, so you can take that EO1 if you wanted to and export that out, use it in different software if you want. Otherwise, the main purpose is to leave it in here. So you then extract at the bottom here, and then that's when you're going to start to be able to see what came from that extraction. This is just an example of one that I previously did. So now I have a mass amount of data. So the process is now, you know, from data to identification for all of your evidence. How do we fast track and make that faster? My job cues here, these are custom creatable. So these are just an example of some that I've made here. So if I know that I'm doing, as an example, an ICAC investigation, I've created one right here, ICAC and CSAM here, that has custom jobs in it in our analytics that I'll show you what all those look like. So there's over 26 different analytics. This is an example of one I've created for just an ICAC investigation. So my file header checker mismatch, it's going to identify any mismatched file headers, correct it, and flag those for you. Exit processor, metadata, OCR looking for the text inside images, making those readable with our text indexer. There's my keyword matches, which you can also import keywords, keyword list yourself or custom create your own. Picture and video analytics to identify what's in those images. Indecent images detection, it's going to flag, tag, and blur those indecent images that we don't have to see those over and over. It's definitely helpful as an investigator. And then I also put in, I want to do a report. So if I had, as an example, that case that I just did, say this is the image I wanted to do. That's a lot of stuff to go through. Down here at the bottom, my analytics, this is where all of the different jobs are at. And like I said, you can custom create one's a job queue based off of everything you see here to do exactly what I just showed you. And if I wanted to run that one, I have this full extraction. Once again, I want to save time with my processing and my triaging because I don't have all day. I could just go to load queue, and there's my ICAC one that I created, and then I could just hit start. If anything's out of order, our software is going to tell you, hey, you should probably do this before that. Just always hit yes to that. It's going to give you the best order and process. And you'll see it now. It's started to moving my job order in the correct order in which you're supposed to do it. And now under jobs, once jobs populates, it's going to show you everything that's going to start to perform here. And all you have to do now as the investigator, examiner, let these processes run. Come back and take a look at the end. This is going to say everything's built out. Report is based off of everything that I just selected. And my exhibit content is going to grow based off of whatever else it's pulling out of there as well. So once again, process going from a mass amount of data, already seeing other ones start to populate here that weren't there before. So it pulls out further information. So going from a full image to, instead of just going through line by line and everything, custom creating a job queue in my analytics here based off of what other type of investigations I'm doing, selecting that job queue to save time, and then hit run. So these are some of the other ones that I've created as examples here. I have one specifically for translation, some documents. So if I'm going after drone data, geolocation information, I have a full deep dive one right here with 15 different jobs that's going to basically do my full triage that I would typically do on any device if I don't know exactly what I'm going after, to help identify information, make it more easy accessible, which you see here. This is everything that's doing. Other custom ones in here. Once again, the process of this, the main purpose of this presentation is to save you time as an investigator to go from a ton of data to finding what you're looking for really, really fast. And that's the purpose of these job queues. I'm going to stop this process so I can show you the visual indexer. And I'm going to go back to my cases so I can show you in those analytics some of our newer ones that have come this year. Your visual indexer, like I showed you, or I already mentioned, to where you basically, this one right here, if I run this by itself, then I can go into any extraction and just type in exactly what I'm looking for and it'll populate. So an example of that, let's go to this is an XRY extraction. So we can also ingest extractions from different software. So my import, if I know that I'm using Celebrite or XRY or CFID, GMD, another EO1 file from a different software, I can come in here, grade key as well, and I can import those extractions from the other software, and then I can run my analytics, create a job queue, and if I want to do my triaging in here. So I'm going to go inside of this exhibit now that has preloaded data on here. This is one that I've done before. I've ingested this XRY extraction. All right, so here's a whole list. There's tons of different pictures in here. But if I wanted to search for something specific, I already ran the visual indexer that little brain is on. All I would have to do then is come in here and start typing. Let's just say I'm looking for picture of a man. That's then going to take that 394, narrow it down to more of what I'm looking for. And then from there, I can change the threshold to be more specific, or of, it's not the right extraction, be more specific or more broad if I needed to. Let's go to this one here and right click it. There we go. And I can change that threshold. If I'm getting too many results, then I can narrow that down. And that's all done right here on my threshold here. Be more strict if I have too many results, or if I'm not getting enough results, I can bump that up and make that more broad. So that's the visual indexer. Can also be used, use your imagination to whatever you're typing in. Also, other things, there's some other pictures that are getting more close to what I'm looking for. It's going to be very specific. The more you type in, the more strings it has to search against. So going back into, let's go to Celebrite extraction now. Other ways that you can make this a little bit more easy accessible and narrow down what you're looking for. Number one, using those job cues in those analytics and then performing. Like this one, I would probably run the picture and video analytics here. I would let that process populate in my jobs, rerunning it on this one. And then I could go to my categories. It's already starting to categorize things it's seeing inside of these images. And I'm going to let that one process while I show you the next one here is the audio transcribe and translate. So basically taking an audio or video file and translating it from a stated language to English and showing the subscript at the bottom of it, which this one is going to be an Armenian one translated to English, and you're going to be able to see real time at the bottom of that screen what's being transcribed and translated. So I'm not sure you're going to be able to hear this, but I want to play this video for you. That bottom part is what's being translated. So that's a great feature, but then we take it a step further. And in the text index process is where you can go to the transcribed audio, and then you're able to see what's being translated and at what time were those words generated on that audio or video file. You can even take it and print it off now and use that for whatever type of investigation. So once again, interviews of suspects or individuals, audio file, then you can say, hey, did they ever talk about a man? Or use whatever you want, anything about a car. So you can search right there real time to see and search for anything specifically that you want. All right, another good capability, once again, is the main process to save time is the fusion down here. So fusion is your ability to, let's say I have a whole bunch of different phone extractions and I want to compare those to one to see like, hey, are these guys talking to each other? Are they sending emails, text messages, whatever that is? I can really quickly take and compare multiple extractions to one, which for this one is going to be a computer extraction and a thumb drive to compare, and look to build a link analysis chart of shared artifacts. And it's going to search based off of these artifacts here in the middle, communication being a big one, as well as my keywords. I just hit generate links here. And I see between my computer extract, my field triage, and this thumb drive that there's 35 shared or known artifacts. I even have a camera make and model, the hash for it, of those files, as well as the file itself. And I can see, all right, there's 17 that I know that are similar in here. I want to take and view those now. Here's an example of one. So it's going to tell you to and from, which one was shared to what. It has a nice built-in Omni viewer if you need to zoom in, zoom out, and then all of your contextual data here. My EXIF content for my metadata that I pulled from it. So once again, your quick ability to compare multiple extractions to one to build a link analysis chart. All right, I'm going to switch gears now and show you how this one is processing. This one we ran the picture and video analytics. You see here all the different categories it's already pulled out. So once again, these are all different categories based off the images that it's seeing. Once this is complete, then I can go into my extraction and narrow it down by any one of these categories in here. Once again, so instead of looking through all pictures, I just need to see pictures of women right here, or of a man. That's going to be a subcategory. All right. Yeah, I guess another thing just to point out too is just the how easy it is to narrow down what you're looking for based off of the tiles that come from it. So once again, this is a Celebrite extraction viewed in our Analyze. And so you have these big bright tiles that show up, a little bit easier to navigate through, especially for some of those examiners or first time individuals who are new in the field to come and click now. Let's see, I just want to view just messages or calls. Well, here's my messages right here. It's going to show me my message threads as well as contacts. I can search over here by filters as well. You can select one. It's going to tell me the app that it came from because I ran the app parser. All right. Now the other part, so that's the Analyze and Manage that houses all of the extractions. And then all of my job queues are set up here in my settings. Once again, custom create. So the process is, if I'm doing imaging of a device, get an image really fast with my ballistic imager, bring it back into Analyze, rebuild it as an EO1, and then run a job queue against it, such as these that you can custom create yourself to do all the analytics and all the triaging for you, and then build a report based off of there. All right, I'm going to pause here. Yeah, Keith, hopefully we're good now. Yeah, that middle process part, the white space you guys are talking about, I'll go back there. So in here, after you create a field device, this spot right here, if you have multiple field devices, then you might see 2 or 3 or 4, however many that are built out for that. But this is just showing that one field device that I issued out. So yeah, that's what that part was. Now switching gears back over, I'm just going to show you really quickly what happens with the phones. So this is MD Next that houses and does all of the our phone extractions. Thousands of different phone profiles, makes and models that are in here. You can either search by your IMEI, your make model number, anything like that, or direct connection, as you'll see down here. Once you locate your phone, this is an example of what it's going to look like. So this is one that I've previously done. Obviously, the phone extraction types are going to vary based off of what model you have, but it's going to tell you what's recommended here with that little thumbs up. So I know if I have an Android 10, that's going to be my physical. If I have 8 to 9, that's a bootloader, and it's my physical there. If you hover over them, you'll see it's going to tell you it's a logical or physical. And this one I can see that I can actually do my screen unlock and relock as well. And I can do my brute force or my bootloader and bypass there as well. Simple process. Select it, get the process going. There's no special cable kit that comes with it or needed. It's basically what cable do you need for that phone? Start the process, and it's going to tell you exactly what to do. The most you're going to ever have to do is just unplug and replug back in to identify. Once that extraction is done, it automatically populates into Analyze. And as an example, it's going to show up under your GMD extractions here. And this is one that I've previously done. So extract an MD Next, let it process, it'll automatically populate into our software. And then now you can go and do your triaging here, or go to your job queues, run a job queue against it to save time. Right. The last process, before I pause for some questions here, is the real-time results when it comes to on scene. So I'm going to go back to that process of saying, hey, I'm back on my suspect's computer, and I just need to see, make sure you guys can still see this. Let's share my other screen now. All right, so I'm back on my suspect's computer, and I just want to get real-time results for keywords and hashes. using that field device that I issued out already. Let this kick up. So if I didn't want to take the time, although you saw how fast ballistic was, or if you only have jurisdiction or authorities to go after specific artifacts of a computer, a suspect's device, then that's kind of the main purpose of the field triage. And plus to give you real-time results at that time on scene. So you have a series of other different options here, plus our rapid hash scan, which hashes files for specific file types really fast and excludes everything else that's irrelevant, so you get real-time results. Run stock profiles, a series of automatic one-click goes. If I just need to do users' information of their desktop, select it and hit run, and often you're getting that. Windows-based artifacts are here as well. Once again, one-click goes, Apple information, recent over the last 30 and 60 days. But you can even be more creative and select, do a custom extraction here and create new profile. And in create new profiles where you can go after specific artifacts, either by file type, location, or a time frame. So there's my memory, if I want to do my RAM, my decryption, if I want to potentially unlock BitLock drives, if it's that recovery key is found anywhere within the Windows-based artifacts, it will go out there, unlock it, and make that data accessible as well and include that. System information giving me a lot of real-time results when it comes to reporting real-time as far as the device owner, applications being ran, recent artifacts, applications downloaded, installed, versions of your operating system, USB history, all of that can be found. Password finder based off of the browsers, internet artifacts. But for this one, I'm just going to do this one really quick. This is my logical. So I'm going to say, I just want to go after pictures and documents for this user. I want my keywords to match on the file name and the file content. And here's my file types, pictures and documents. If I want to add any other ones, I could select more than one. Here's all the other types that are included. Executables, crypto, system information. And I could even put in a date and time constraint. Once again, very customizable. Instead of wasting all the time, pulling all the data, going exactly after what you need, and saving you a lot of time here. So I could change this to absolute time from whatever day and time if I needed to. For this one, I'm just going to do pictures and documents, my keyword matching based off of this user, and I'm just going to hit run. Now the difference between this and ballistic is just imaging, and you're gathering it really fast. Now, once this process starts, you're going to see a big circle in the upper right corner. That's going to give you real-time results when it comes to your keywords and hashes. So you can hand this to the lowest level individual as far as knowledge set in our field and say, hey, plug this in, and you can create one of these job queues, these field profiles, that says click here, like I've done for individuals before. It's going to be often extracting and say, hey, once this starts extracting, tell me what color that circle changes. That's our traffic light technology. If it turns amber, that's going to be my keywords. I have keyword matches. If it turns red, I have hash matches. So me as an examiner that says, all right, I'm getting this really quick extraction with results. Maybe this is worth my time imaging. So that's kind of my workflow is I don't want to waste time doing a process to a device that's not of interest to me, and I want to narrow it down to something more of relevance. So do a quick extraction. I get results. That's great. Now I can start triaging on scene. Over here's the job queue, and then I could start that imaging if I needed. So there's one already. I already see one keyword match. So the job queue over here is the order in which it's going to go. So right now it's going after the user directory scan, then it's going to encrypt. Another thing of note too, even though you're pulling logical information, because I didn't select carving, it's going to encrypt it. So nobody can just open your files up that's on your field device to see exactly what that is. My keyword results are going to be down here, as well as in the results viewer, which I'm going to, at any time if one of these processes is taking too long, or if you're just like, I just need to get down to my entire disk scan, you can hit next. And I'm going to skip down to entire disk scan so I can start seeing some other results. This entire disk scan right here, or right in the middle, it's your flyby. So it's a really quick, easy indicator for people to be like, all right, I already seen an image popping up right here. Let's take a look at it. Gives you my contextual data, the quick wins, created access, modified date. If there are keywords, they'll show up down here, as well as the location. Where was this picture found? And if you want to take it a step further, here's your hex view. You can verify that file header here. Another great on-scene capability. So now I'm seeing up here, I have 60 keyword results. You can use the drop down here, or the purpose right here in your results viewer is now I want to start my on-scene triaging. So once again, keep in mind, you're doing this on-scene. You don't have to wait till post if you need authorities to, seize this device, but you can't bring it back. This is your way to do that with your field triage capability. My keyword matches, here's all my lists and my numbers for results. See if I have any dark web stuff. I have some for torch here. Looks like I have a file here for that, a document. So documents, as you can see, you can open up and view. Videos they'll play, pictures they will view as well. And now, since this is a keyword match, you'll see down here in my context, these are my results for my keywords that hit on this document right here. So once again, your keywords custom created, preloaded. You can have them to whatever else type of examinations you're doing or extractions, ICAC specific, anything like that. Now I'm seeing some other results popping up here. Once again, quick, easy, one clicks, see exactly what that is. That's how easy the field triage is. Real world, I would let this finish. I'm going to hit next through this job.
Hey, Javis. All we're seeing is a file window at the moment.
One second. This one screen is killing me here. Let me go back into here. There we go. All right, so this job is finished. Once again, those results viewer, if you guys didn't see that, as this is going, up here is where you get those quick indicators for your keywords and hashes. This tells me really quick, this turned amber, I have keyword results in my results viewer. And I can come in here now and see my keyword match results over here. Here's my hashes. Then I could take a look at one of these real time. My keyword results for this one are going to be right here. All right, so once again, the main purpose of this right here is to quickly get some hash and keyword hits. That tells me as an examiner, all right, cool, maybe I need to take it a step further, do my imaging now to do a full image. And then your last process is going to be to pull it back into Analyze to start that process. So I'm going to stop sharing that one. I'm going to pull Analyze back open, and then I'm going to open it up for questions. Apologies for the bouncing around the cameras. I'm working on one screen here. All right, Keith. All right, Keith, you're talking about wanted to see keywords. So keywords as far as the on-scene capability or how to build a keyword list, Keith? Oh, I guess I showed there right there at the end. You might have seen that on screen. Okay, let me switch back over. So there's two different ones here. The keyword results are going to be okay. You did see it. All right, and then those keywords are built in. Keyword lists are built in the Analyze platform that is put onto the field device that you create. And that field, those are right up here in your settings. Change this here. Shows. I have to preload mine, but they're built just like this. So you just go to your keyword list. There they are. You could create your new one right here, or you could and give it a title, or you could just ingest one that was pre-existing. Right. Can you remotely collect a mobile device covertly? So as far as the remotely collecting on a mobile device, not right now. No, our remote connection is for networked, same network computers. I see a translation part in the job queue. Does Detego translate from one language to another? Yeah, Ron. So the translation, how that works, there's two translations. So the Risoko just translate is a bolt-on to that, unless you already have Risoko. Um, but yeah, it'll translate it from whatever native language there's. I think there's hundreds of different languages that it'll translate to into English or whatever language you want to switch it to. If you want to change it to Spanish or whatever that is. And then there's the audio transcribe and translate, as you saw. We'll translate it from the native language to English as well. And the audio transcribe and translate is built into Analyze. You don't pay extra for that. Yeah, Deb, hopefully, yeah, you can see better now, Deb. CP granting. All right, go back to the chat here. Yeah, Keith. So the main purpose of this is you don't have to be on a network. Like I said, I use this in Africa and Afghanistan, so no connectivity in the middle of the desert, in the middle of a mud hut of nowhere. So I literally got off of, yeah, we'll just say it like that. So you can use it off network, and then you can come back and use that as a workstation as well. It depends on however you want to use it. Back to the questions. Not a problem, Deb. All right. Yep. I'll keep opening up to any questions that anybody else has right now. Sorry about the screen sharing. It's the dealing with one screen right now. So if there's anything that you guys want to see specifically right now, I can talk about that or show you right now. I think right now we're looking at the keywords. And then the remote connection that was mentioned before, that's the network agent. So not for phones right now, it's going to be for computers. You just deploy an agent. You can do it manually or through the WinRM setup, and then you'll have a device pop up here with an active status. It's going to be a green status, shows that it's ready to image. Let's see any other questions here. Yeah, I would say so. That once again, so I think I answered most of them here, unless anybody else has anything else. But the main thing is the purpose of the demonstration. I showed you the functionality with everything, but the main purpose is using those job queues and those analytics to go from the extraction piece to the triage, which does take a while for most examiners, and that's the main purpose here is to create these custom job queues, hash lists, or keywords to then run against an extraction based off of what type of investigation you are doing, and then automatically running those against that extraction. So you don't have to take all that time to sift through everything. And one thing I did want to mention too is if you did want to kind of fact check something, say we'll use this one as an example. If you ran a custom job queue against this one, this is an iPhone 6S coming from Celebrate, and you had results, but you're like, I want to make sure. Then you could just go to all files if you're more of the file-based forensics type of person, and you could change your view from the filtering to the file-based on the left-hand side right here to the folder view. So right now it's under the filter list. You can change it to your folder view once it populates here, and then start narrowing it down from here. So you do have that functionality and capability. I want to mention the activity graph right here. That's our timeline capability too. So if you want to search by a specific time frame, you can do that right here just by turning on your activity graph. And it's populating here, and then you can just put in your custom time frames as well. So hopefully that kind of helps narrow down some more capabilities of it. Like I mentioned, I think the main purpose of you guys as an examiner and anybody housing any software is gaining trust in it. And that's just I feel like AI is a crutch word right now, my personal opinion. But after seeing the results, after we've kind of stepped the game up in this and using this real time and fact checking it versus other software, not everybody has one software they're using, comparing and contrasting. I encourage you to do that. So, use those extractions and bring those extractions into our software, try those AI capabilities out, try that ballistic imager, and then, try those, see how those results yield for you, and then see how much time that actually saves you guys as during your investigations. I'll leave it open, make sure I didn't miss any other questions here. All right. Going to leave it open for some other questions as we finish out here. Okay, missed keys. Is this cloud-based or software install? So it's software, Keith. And the software can be software installed, or you could put the license on a dongle, like you were talking about, alluding to the is it on take a network? No, it doesn't. You install in first initial process, connect it to a network, install that with the software with the license, and then from there you can use it off network. Can you? Yep, I think I got all the questions answered in here. But I appreciate everybody's time. I'm going to stay on here until we reach our hour here and open up for any questions. If you need me, go ahead and throw it in the chat. I'm here to make sure you guys understand software a little bit more, how it works for me and for us, how we like to use it, and focusing on the AI and automation is kind of the main focus of this. Yeah, Keith, it could be, so there's different ways to build the license. You could do an annual license. You could do 1, 3, or 5 license with a renewal. Those can be, I can just discuss those with you more, but yeah, annual license is typically what everybody does, but the renewal, not a problem, Deb. Thank you for stopping by our presentation, and please reach out if you got any questions. I'll give you guys, main purpose of this, everybody in attendance, just we can get you guys a free trial license, Keith, Deb, everybody else that I don't see in the chat, and you guys just try it out for yourself and let me know what you think about it. But yes, Keith, there's an annual license for it, option for it. Not a problem, Keith. Hey, thanks, Ron. Thanks for stopping by. Yeah, thanks again, everybody. I'm going to turn my camera off, but I'm going to just about hang out here in case there's any last ones. Hey, Megan, I'm not sure if there's anybody else left.
No, I think that's about it. I'll go ahead and click off. Oh, wait, I just saw a question pop in the Q&A.
Hey, Deb, I see your question. Can you expand a little bit? Is your question kind of dealing with like malware type of thing, or? Oh, call detail record. So that it's going to come directly from what was gathered. The app parser will make those more friendly viewable, I guess you could say it, in a report. And we also have a report function for, I guess since you're still on, I can show you here. Give me a minute, I'll show you the report function. But as far as the call detailed records and processing, it's going to be basically what comes from, location data. So what comes from that extraction is going to be viewable, and it's going to be here. Let me show you an example. Where's my? All right, give me a minute. I'm going to pull up one example as far as the report, and then I'll share the screen. Just want to make sure. Yeah, right here. So if you see here in this window, this is some of your reporting options. This actionable intelligence one, where there's a full mobile, yeah, this one right here, is going to give you a further breakdown as far as application information, what came from it, geolocation information, any saved geolocation, I guess location, anything like that. It's going to basically show up in that report as well as in Analyze. And that's the part of the processing of the extraction. So if that phone extraction came in and there's geolocation information, you can view those separately, especially the call information, call detailed records. I would have to dig through it, to be honest, to see if that actually pulls GPS locations from a specific call from a location. But you're going to get different results as far as like your network information, possible towers, things like that, that can show up in the device history. And that's where a lot of the geolocation information comes from.
Alrighty, I think that about wraps it up. Thank you, Javis, for a great presentation, for answering everyone's questions. Anybody who's left in the room, thank you for attending today. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Wednesday or Thursday.
Oh, absolutely. Thanks, Deb. Yep, I got your question. So yeah, reach out and we can talk some more further about this, and we'll go forward with it. But I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you, Megan, for everything.
My
All right, thanks.